All right, you are recording.
All right, good afternoon, evening, everyone. We're gonna start this, regular mandatory meeting and our agenda for today, for the Parks and Recreation programs and Park and Recreation Commission on June 6, 2024. Give a roll call, please.
Travis Rask here.
Howard Mays here.
Maureen Bergman here.
Joe McDowell. All right. And I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the May Commission's meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? All right. Accepted. So we have a couple of things that we need to discuss, and that is the action discussion of items and reports, which is the Van Buren Street Playground. And we're gonna make we're gonna vote on that. And then a recommendation of the recreation fee for 3 residence units or at 350 Broadway. That'll be the next one we're gonna vote on. And after that, we'll discuss the Julie take over the updated projects and installations of Andrea Park Pool Recreation Center. And we'll discuss the annual Day Parade. So we're going out of order. So the first thing we're gonna do is item A, which is vote on the Van Buren Street Playground request to be renamed by DJ, sorry, I'm the last one.
Degeneria.
The Gennaro Mason Park. And we're gonna make a vote.
Discuss it.
Discussion.
Make the motion,
Discuss it.
Well, we discussed it last meeting.
Yeah,
we make the motion, and second, then discussion before we vote.
all right, so we do that. All right, so we make a motion to discuss the playground request to rename Dejana, if I'm pronouncing it right, Mason Park.
Okay. Do that.
Okay. Second the motion to discuss.
All in favor? All right, so we're going to discussion now. Taking to, I know the last meeting, we discussed this, and I believe that we all are in favor, from my understanding. Yes, yeah, of our previous discussion pertaining to the renaming of the park.
I received a couple of phone calls. And I was wondering, I was shocked by this coming to me, but apparently people watched the last meeting. And the questions that came up was, why would you name it for this one person and not for the person who was the young lady who was still prior to that? And how do you name it for this one? Because somebody came and spoke to us, or why wouldn't we name it after the other person, or both? And then that spilled over into the next call, which was about recognizing the people that. Well, that'll go to C. Second call was the same issue, but it included action number 2C in our agenda. So it was just, for this, was the concern over the park was established because and donated as a result of the other person being killed. Is that
Smith is the way.
Smith? And
I don't know how, I just thought it's because I was on Van Buren Street,
no, it might have been the name of it, but it was donated, at least my understanding of the presentation, was donated because this Smith girl was killed and the family that owned that property donated it as a park.
Taking the kids
I
out of the streets.
don't recall that. But, okay. don't test my memory. Oh, the actual occurrence.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah, I
Might have been
remember,
before my time.
yeah, I remember getting the property, but I don't recall a reason for it, other than it was a nice place for an apartment. And I'm gonna just add something, I don't know if it's really gonna add to the discussion. When Jeannie Edward brought this up, she actually brought it up in laws and rules with the city. And her reasoning was because the previous child that was murdered had something done, but she wasn't specific done. And what it was, so I'm not sure. And she said, you know, it's not fair that this child has gone unnoticed.
I don't know what was done. I don't know of anything.
Raquel Knox Park.
No.
No,
This
it's
is,
just,
That's a different-
this is way before that.
Oh, I thought that's what she was referencing.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, no, this was the Smith girl, I think was the name, but
I didn't know if Jeannie was referencing that Raquel Knox was named after a
No,
child.
that wasn't, it was
Yeah.
this person.
And I think my understanding, and it was just from that meeting, because I didn't know anything about that occurrence, which is a shame, because I just didn't know, but, apparently none of us did. That the land was donated to make a park as a result of that child being killed. And so I guess the inference from the people who called me was that why wouldn't both of those people be included in that name? I don't have the answer for that, you know what I mean, but I figured since it was brought to me, I needed to bring it here.
speaking of devil,
Well, I,
Not that we've entered with this, but anytime you do something like this to honor someone, you always get, someone's gonna call and say, why was this person, why not this person? And we had for the Hobie Armstrong, I got phone calls, well, why are you picking Hobie Armstrong? Well, there's a million good reasons why we picked him. But the other, well, how about so-and-so and so-and-so? Which, not that they were bad choices, but you have to make a decision. And unfortunately, you know, we can't name a park or a building after everybody who was in a tragedy around here.
So is
So
there a
they're
way,
tough decisions.
is there a way that the park can have like, you know, a name that is like Scott, or something, like the children's park?
Yeah, you could call it,
And then-
did you say children's park?
yeah, that's, we both came to that, I think.
And
Yeah.
then there can be some.
You can do something
plaques or
generic.
something with their names.
But no,
Well,
but
Jeannie's here, Jeannie's the one who brought it up.
But
How do you,
recognize the names.
Well, from the hearing the conversation, I'm already disappointed and want to just like scream. Because Ward 4 has been getting crap. If you really want to know it, and I will advocate for my ward like there's no tomorrow. Ward 4 has not been represented. Ward 4, till the last few years, has not had a dime sunk into it. We're a containment ward, and the people that live in Ward 4 need something to look at. They need something to hold on to. The people of this council are paying attention to what's going on. And, you know, you could dance around it all you want, but I'm gonna speak the truth. I'm sorry that this happened, and I'm sorry that I'm advocating for such a tragedy. But almost everybody, when I knocked on doors, they want to remember her. We have the Knox Park, the this, and different things, and one is not different, right? We can't name everything after every tragedy. I agree with that. But let me tell you something, Ward 4, we're the most diverse ward, we have everything in it, the kids, the parents, no one's had closure on this. Do you know what it sounds like you hearing them guns? Because we used to hear them all the time. Do you know what that's like to yell at your kids while you're laying in bed, get down, get on the floor? Do you have any idea what that feels like? Because we do in Ward 4. We know what it feels like. We know what it feels like to watch people shoot up. We know what it feels like to see the homeless. Why do my children, and I'm gonna say my children in Ward 4, have to see all this? Why?
I don't think that, I think that.
I just heard, like I walked in and said, I heard the tail end of this.
No.
Yeah.
But now I'm gonna
Wait,
get a
wait, hold
little
on, Dean.
mama
Hold on.
bear.
Oh, wait, don't get so impatient, because you came in on a
tail end,
situation,
right.
on the tail end, and it wasn't a situation of not naming the park after the individual. It was a situation of a phone call getting, one of the commissioners received a phone call stating if it could be named somebody else also. That's what it was. It wasn't a situation of us not doing anything for the park or anything like that. That's not it. So
And believe me,
you sit down a little bit.
I was
No,
here.
Oh,
that's not the case.
so
That's
if I'm
not the
out of
case.
line, I apologize.
Everybody thinks this is a good
You
idea.
know,
Yeah,
it's just
so-
been laying
No,
for
no,
a while.
that's not the case.
We haven't voted to have it, we don't have a date yet.
For the repercussions.
Here's the question that came up on a phone call, that when we were in the meeting, I don't know if you heard it or somebody else, that property, somebody lived there for.
The banks owned it, and they're the ones that turned, the Bences, and they're the ones that turned it over to the city.
As a result of that.
Well, as a result, the house was in such dilapidated shape.
But they gave it to the city because.
They gave it
of that
to the
person,
city.
A young.
No, a girl happened to, get hit by a car, Smith,
There.
not right in front of there, but yeah,
Yeah,
right
right
in the
near
same, same area. So,
So that was the question.
Right.
Why not?
The phone call was about why would you name it for one kid and not the other?
well, we're not.
And so we were saying, that's the discussion that was occurring.
So I'm the one that brought up about Smith because I want to honor her also, but I can't, and this sounds a little weird, I can't be responsible for what other people did not do.
That's correct.
They did not bring it to the table, they did not fight for this, they did not. Unfortunately, Ward 4 has a fighter now. They have somebody that walks those streets every day. I listen to what the people say, and I'm gonna advocate in any means that I can. And like I said, I never heard nothing about this young girl, the Smith girl, until I started digging.
That's unfortunate.
It's so unfortunate, it is so, like,
Because it was a big issue at the time when the incident occurred. you
Right.
know. But at that time, I think it was a different time, the politics were different, the representatives in the ward was, so.
and I
But
agree
it
with
still
you.
happened and the family still resides in Kingston.
And I said I wanted them to come, I wanted them to be honored. I wanted a remembrance for her, but as long as, I can't take back time, I can't do anything. So this is the focus of the last 3 years. And I'm sorry that it took 3 years to come to the table, but.
But it's here now. and
It's
you know,
here now,
Here we are now.
Commissioner wants
right,
to.
and I do wanna do
All
something. Right, and I do want to get in touch with this Mr. Smith. How I found out about it was because I worked with Dave Betts as the plumber. That's how I found out about
So
it.
I think.
So the question that then came around when, and I don't know if you walked in when that was happening, or just before you walked in, was the mention of a children's park with the names of children in Kingston that been victimized.
I mean, I think,
So we didn't have any more discussion beyond that.
I know, I kind of came in, I heard a little bit, and I'm like, "Rah." Yeah, I don't mean to be that way, but I'm like, it's like,
No, I think you're passionate. You're
I am
passionate.
very passionate and I love what I'm doing. It's just that like right now, I just feel like I'm in
So it would be,
I've
it would be
experienced 500 fights.
it would be remiss to get a phone call like that and not bring it up. When somebody calls the question, so that's what was.
You can always direct them to me, because I would tell them the plan, because as I said, the last time I was here, it would not, it's named after her, but the bottom line is we would have my vision, not pushing me down anyone's throat because I don't want to move too fast, is a brick walkway with, not only her, but we have the McCollins, we have a bunch of people that were shot in Kingston. And I would love to see their name on a brick that leads up to a dedication wall. And something, a little plaque, a chair with their name on, something that this mother, who is still horrified with, is having trouble. I talk to her on a daily basis now, where I never met the woman, not even when I was standing next to the little girl's coffin. Because there were so many people leaned over screaming, crying. So I never really met the woman. Me and her talk on a daily basis now. Because I would like to see her have some kind of closure, even though she never will, as her child.
All right. So I think that, I think we could agree, and correct me if I'm wrong, that we're on the same page of making this happen, getting this done. But in the conclusion of it, I think it's also a great idea if we still have that walkway of different names to recognize individuals who have, has gone before us, which in up into the memorial wall. And so I think that sums everything up in recognizing everybody in whatever families, you can get sponsorships for the walkway. You can name the park, how are we gonna name the park? Have the sponsorship for the walkways, for the bricks. Who wants to sponsor a brick, or a family member wants to sponsor a brick for each person who has gone before us and do it that way. And I think that would make it a little.
And I have some questions, because you mentioned about kids that got shot, and, and it's like in the past and recent, also the future, because
That's right.
things are not,
Is that, yeah,
yeah, but would it be just, I get into my minutia, would it just be, because I think it's important what we say here, whatever the decision is, that this would just be for kids who got shot, it would be for kids who.
I don't think we
We don't have to decide.
I think we, right now, our decision right now is to stick with what
Yeah.
is on the
The name
agenda.
of
We don't-
it's the name of it.
Yeah,
so,
So there is a motion and a second. So there's,
And we have some discussion, is there more discussion?
I think I'm coming for discussion, yeah. I think at this point we should make a decision. All right,
make the recommendation.
yep. Make a recommendation to name.
Did we have enough information?
I hear what you're saying, and, it was a sad situation. I'm just thinking that, to be fair to all of, like Al said, to all of the kids who have been affected in some way, and families that have been affected in some way, I don't know if naming the park after a specific child, really makes a major difference, but seeing that child's name memorized, as a memory in that park, I think, along with other youth who have been victims in the city, may make a major, impact on people. Thinking something like Memory Park or, Remembrance Park, and then those people's, those children's names can be, represented within the park. But that's my thought. I'm just one individual.
I'm unclear on it like that. I understand this one, and I don't oppose it, but I also, maybe we just don't have enough information.
Because everybody, wants their lost loved one to be recognized, and, would like to have something named after them. And, how realistic is that? So, but that's just my thoughts.
And I'm not trying to influence any decision or vote the four of you have tonight. I think the fact that we've received something from the family, and there's a legitimate reason to name the park after this tragic event for something positive going forward, plays a lot into all the kids going there now, next year, 10 years from now, whatever it may be. That's just, again, I'm not trying to influence any type of decision. Anybody who's lost their life, whether it's in Ward 4, Ward 9, wherever it may be, is tragic. But this is a way that the city can show that, one, that there's caring among people within the community. Not just in Ward 4, but in the community, based on all the other wards that are, it'll be eventually voting on if the city, if we make the recommendation to go to the mayor, we'll put it to the committee. So,
So if we make a recommendation, it goes where?
goes to the mayor's office, and he sends it to common council, to the appropriate committee, check, that's those are the rules. So,
And another thing is, we can't, I cannot be responsible, and neither can anyone in this room. I brought it to the table. The mother came to me, I talked to the mother, we talked together, yada, yada, yada. We could make things, the children's park, this and that. But people didn't come before. This was not an issue before. This park gets less recognition than any other park. 9 times out of 10, that park is not cleaned, drug addicts in there and everything else. And this is the government of Kingston did not go out and make a firm statement that this is not going to be tolerated in the city of Kingston with our children. There was an alderman that said on TV, and I'm going to quote it word for word, the children of Ward 4 are just going to see things. Would you like that about your children?
They're just gonna see things.
They're going to see things more than other children are going to see. Why is that? There's a whole host of things. But this kind of brings peace, not only to this family and the children, the Boys and Girls Club and Chambers school teachers and different that have all jumped on board for this. But it shows that the government hears what Ward 4 is saying. This is what they want. That's it.
Make a motion.
Let's say the motion.
You can say yea or nay, it's totally fine.
Okay, so, I'm gonna make a motion to,
Request
to request rename the Van Buren Street Playground to be renamed I can't pronounce the name. Genera, okay, G. Genera Mason Park. All in favor?
Okay,
Aye.
if it's gonna be.
All opposed? All right, motion accepted.
Thank you.
Thank you, and please come for the day that we're gonna have a barbecue. Because I want her mother, and because I am going to reach out to the Smith family.
Great.
I am going
Thank
to,
you.
as soon
But
as
it's not,
Thank
yeah,
right,
thank you very much.
I'm hoping.
all right.
Thank you.
I mean, our route would be to go to
The
the
next,
mayor's office,
Let's see what it comes out.
dozens.
We're just a recommendation. We are not,
100%.
we're not a sunset.
And I think recognizing the loss, I think that's important. I'd like to see it include and be open to including more of the unfortunate youth, whatever age
Yes.
that means.
And the age that does go to that park is 0 to like 8.
Yeah.
That's what should be in that park because but there's everything else there.
Thank you very, very
I
much.
have to cut everybody out because we have to move
Yeah,
on.
as I said, I have to
Yes,
take 5 minutes.
We have 5 minutes, so sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. All right, the next, thank you, Keith, thank you. All right, the next recommendation of recreation fee for 3 residential units at 350 Broadway.
I'll make a motion to open for discussion. I think this is now the 3rd time we've discussed this item. I know at the last meeting, he mentioned, looking into, this was potential low-income housing, so on and so forth. I don't think that that's any realm of our responsibility to be looking into that. We should really just be looking at additional park space and what's, going to be supplied by that unit. I know for myself, I don't believe that is any additional park space being, admitted, to, these residents of the city of Kingston. So anyone else have anything else?
I'm looking at this, this is the person who presented. And my understanding is that there was either four or seven ones. And,
He has 4 and he's looking for an additional 3. The first 4 are exempt.
okay, the first 4 are exempt. So he's gonna have 3 more units, and they would be affordable housing if this was granted and not if it wasn't. But there was no parkland or anything like that.
Correct.
So when I read this, it says, with input from us, the Recreation Commission, if we recommend that to the planning board, the planning board, with our input, the planning board may consider full compliance with affordable housing requirements as grounds to discount a project's recreation fee in lieu of parkland. So they don't have the parkland and they want us to waive that fee in accordance with the provisions of 347. For the purpose, I don't know, 247. For the purpose of this discount, full compliance shall mean including affordable or workforce housing units as required. Were all of the additional, not the exempt one, the additional units, are they all affordable housing?
Based on the last 2 times he was here, the additional ones were going to be affordable for 25 years. And one was going, 2 of them were going to be for 25 years, and one was going to be for ever.
So it's
Or he
like,
said that if we don't approve, he's not going to do it.
right.
So
Well, that
I don't, it doesn't, I mean, that's just on the record. I'm looking at facts from at least from how I believe that the rules are read. I could be wrong in that, but maybe I don't think I am. I don't believe that there is, parkland, and I think that's a part of where our decision comes into place. So my decision is to,
Right.
to not waive being charged the full amount.
But
That would
if
be
this is the code, this is the city code that this quoted here. It looks like it says that we could do a discount. We could recommend a discount or consideration for a discount of the recreation fee in lieu of parkland in accordance with this provision. I don't know what that provision is. And full compliance shall mean including affordable workforce housing.
The planning committee would know what that code is, and we just have to make a recommendation, so.
Yeah.
I think we should just move forward on that.
Yeah, I think
Can you play?
The exception I took to the gentleman who did the presentation last month, he was pretty, what should we say? I'll say straightforward in his opinion, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to quote him directly, that he said affordable housing, according to this, will supersede parks, any kind of park. I said that is not the case, but I said, why don't we review it? Which we have. I've spoken to a couple other people on the planning board about it. And there was no one who said that was the case.
Are you aware of
It's
this?
very clear, we may consider it, but we don't have to.
When you say we,
Well, not me, leave me out of this. But he was trying to insinuate that we had to do this.
well, I'm gonna,
we have to consider it, yes, but the consideration,
we are considering it.
right, exactly.
Right. Consider it, right?
said, but,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm recommending that it's full amount.
I'll second
That there's
that.
no discount.
Correct, no discount.
I would
It'll be recommended that with $9,000 is
pay the full.
Ernie,
I agree.
all right,
Favor?
so all in favor? All opposed? All right, so full recommendation, please. All right, the next one is, request of the plaque to be placed at the Brown Avenue Center, recognizing 1970 volunteer Gerald Freeman. And, I believe, Kevin, you have.
There's a- I think it should be in your,
Packet here.
what the wording is.
That's one.
12/15 plaque.
Like 12 inch by 15 inch, presented to Gerald Klingman for his selfless commitment to the Wyandotte Recreation Center basketball team. Members, Kingston, New York, survey 1974.
Did they give the measurements?
12 by 12.
12/15.
Rapid discussion. I want to bring up that,
Make a motion.
make a motion to.
I'll second the motion for discussion.
So, one of the phone calls I got, people were watching, which is good. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
So, so I received some criticism about the two naming things. And they're different. One is a park, recommended that a park be named for someone. And this one is recommendation or a request for a plaque to be put up in a building that's already named, right? Around that time. And so the phone call was, why are we doing that? Why aren't we recognizing, people who have been very instrumental down there?
There's a big wall.
Albert Brown was the name that was brought up.
He's on the
Okay,
wall.
you on the wall.
He's on the wall.
Big as that thing.
So,
He's on there. That's a big plaque up there.
and I said that anybody could,
Yeah,
this is a plaque, it's not naming the building.
right.
So this is another plaque or something that represents or that recognizes someone from the community who was very important and very instrumental in that community, and not the naming of a building.
Correct.
And it's the community recognizing community person.
Right, but I wanted to, I pointed some of that out to them, but
Mhm.
Their interpretation of it was to bring this up, and I've heard a lot about that person also, and, like, that he's recognized.
Yeah.
I said,
Is there?
doesn't he have a plaque there, because he was involved in community
Yeah.
action, and
Yeah, it's right there.
and, I know there's a plaque somewhere.
It's there, right?
When you walk in the door.
Yeah, I walked in a lot of doors in there, so they kind of.
That was nice. It's really nice.
Yeah.
May need to be polished.
Well, maybe that's something we should do.
This isn't the case of renaming the building.
Yeah.
It's a case of honor.
And this is a phone call that I felt necessary to bring to you, just a mention of that.
Right.
I'd like to say that I've been on this commission a long time. We go through this quite frequently, but we don't really, and again, I'm saying we, I'm including myself with you guys. We don't normally sit here and think of, let's name this after somebody. It's usually a family member,
Somebody.
or like these guys, he mentored all these young guys. They come
They were
forward,
here,
and
people that we know, they.
Exactly.
Yeah.
we don't sit here and say, we named something after this one. That's not the way. And if somebody else wants to come forward and, say, geez, I'd like, somebody else to be.
Well, a similar occurrence has happened for the person, or one of the persons that they mentioned. So, yeah, good.
Just want to order this. So, all in favor? Make a
I'll
motion.
make a motion to apply, yeah.
So,
Now, second. Right?
Okay.
You in favor? Okay. All right,
that, yes,
yeah, guys, yeah.
We're gonna-
So we make a motion to,
June 20th,
20. Thank you guys very much.
Thursday.
so now we're, thanks, Travis.
Yeah, thanks.
Project updates.
Yeah, so since I'm here running the meeting, I thought I'd just give some updates on some of the projects that I didn't discuss the last time I was here. projects that are relevant to the recognition. Three of them are solar projects. Two of our municipal buildings are gonna get solar on them in July and August. So the Roundout Center and the pool, are both going to get solar systems on them. I'm working with solar generation, and we're gonna total combined, it will be the cost between the two buildings of $255,000, which is being paid for out of a capital bond that was already agreed upon, the capital projects of 2023. And the city will use that solar generation to offset the cost of our electricity at those two buildings. We're currently going through the warranty process because they all have newish roofs on them. So each of the roof companies are making sure that we're not moving away from warranty. We are doing another solar system, which is not in a park, but it's city property on First Avenue. So all the way up First Avenue, just near the city line, we have a vacant parcel that's was used by DPW for some dumping. They're leveling it out, and we're putting a 1 acre parcel of ground mount system of solar there, which is going to be about 225 kilowatts of power, which is, if you think about the size, the Andy Murphy Center solar system is 50 kilowatts. So this would be substantially larger than that, and a whole acre's worth,
How much?
225.
25.
That's great.
The city was able to receive $847,500 as an award from NYSERDA for the clean energy communities work that we've been doing. So that money will be put towards that project, as will the remaining money that was bonded for solar out of that same pot that was used for the Roundup Center and the pool. Predict it's going to be about a 1.1 or $1.2 million project. I do have to put it out to bid, but I hope that will get built by next year. If it gets built this year, it will be a bonus. It still needs to be fully graded out. We have American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA funding. One of the allocations for the Parks Department was to change the registration software that we use. We've been using ActiveNet for a while, and that's the interface for if a customer wants to sign up for video basketball or summer camp or anything online. Our department is displeased with that service, and so we went out to bid for a different service, and we chose Rec Desk. And I'm currently in contract negotiations with that firm. They said that the transition will be rapid, and we expect to have that system online, we're hoping by September 1st, so that we can launch that before the big basketball season, which is our next big push of online registration. All the information is going to migrate over from one to the other, but there's going to be some training required for city staff to manage that process. And the substantial change is that up until now, we as a city have never actually paid for ActiveNet. The transaction fee was issued to the user, so the users were paying a transaction fee that's substantial every time they were buying something. Buying summer camp, paid a big transaction fee. Rec Desk does not have that. We are paying as a city for their service, not a pretty nominal amount, frankly, and first 3 years are going to be paid out of ARPA. And so now the customer is going to not have that transaction fee, which is a substantial change.
One of the issues that before I retired was that we would always get our clients, our customers, there was trouble. And it was trouble for the staff to be able to figure out what the situation was, because the company wasn't local. Here, it's in Middletown, Connecticut. Is that?
I don't remember where they're at.
It'll be I think it'll be easier to work with them, and hopefully it'll be easier for the customer to work with the city to be able to not have to worry about the,
Connecticut, they're in Middletown, Connecticut.
So I think, personally, I think it's a much needed transition.
You guys know that.
Should
You know, you work with it.
to pull by the horns, and it's gonna be a good thing.
I have a couple of questions. The solar.
Yeah.
Acre.
Yeah.
Right, it's a solar acre. It's gonna generate a lot of power.
It is.
And what's that?
Oh, I didn't mention, because there's no demand at that site. There's no building at that site. There's no meter at that site.
Is that gonna take care of my house?
It's
No.
our other municipal buildings. It could be the case that we might be mandated to actually make part of it public through community solar program, and then we have to figure out how to allocate that
And then
power.
the money, it's 1,000,001 and you have 800 and something.
I have 147 from NYSERDA grant, and the remainder is coming out of a pre-allocated bond that was approved by the council in 2023 as the capital project. So in 2023, they allocated $800,000 for solar projects. It's taken us till now to get those, so 255,000 of that 800 is going towards the Rondout and Nick Pool, and the rest will go to supplement this grant. So it's no additional cost to the taxpayers.
Great. And then the other question had to do with the software transition.
Yes,
So there'll be a savings to the customer or to,
to the customer. There will be
I
a
don't know how
cost.
much that is, but you know,
Uh,
$1 or $10 or.
It's a percentage of each transaction.
Ah,
So, it's probably only a couple dollars for each transaction, but like if you're paying for
$1,000.
3 kids to go to summer camp
Right.
and.
it's $5, it's
Yeah.
$15.
And if folks come in with ActiveNet, I will say, if folks come into the office and they pay in the office and don't use the online system, they don't have to pay. It's a convenience, it's called a convenience fee, because you're having the convenience of paying for home. Frankly, this new program breakfast doesn't have that convenience fee. But we, as a city, do need to absorb it, but it's only $8,300 a year.
Say a word.
Please.
Please.
Did you raise your hand?
I did.
That's
That's your finger.
This is the third time this week I've heard about, especially solar projects. And every time I hear it, I'm really impressed with this. I just have to tell you, I'm very proud of the administration for taking initiatives like this, finding creative ways to pay for it. It's not like we're, foreclosing the city to do this. This is great all around, everybody concerned. This is the way to go. Very proud to be part of this.
It's wonderful.
Great job, Shreddy, and the team who took the bull by the horn, so to speak.
Just a couple quick more things. I am moving forward Kingston Point Park Phase 2, which is elevating half of the parking lot, the softball field, and keeping the other half as a wetland. So we're working with Bernier and Larios, and we're having a design meeting with them next week. So hopefully we'll move forward with permitting. That's a $750,000 grant we have to the state. We have a project that we're moving forward to create a way across the train tracks in Midtown, to create a park at the Y, and to create either an over-the-track bridge, a through-the-track safe grade crossing, or an under-the-track tunnel from the Y over to the other side of Green Hill. So, because right now there's a lot of children, particularly high schoolers, that cross through there very dangerously to get to school, because it's the quickest way from Midtown to get to KHS. So we have funding through the Novo Foundation to evaluate the feasibility of creating a safe crossing there. And if that safe crossing is permitted by CSX, whether it would be over, under, or through, then we would pay also to design a park at the Y and at the city's, there's a small transfer station there off Summer Street, over in that neighborhood. And the Novo Foundation is committed to paying for the development of that as well, so I'm managing that project. The Wi-Fi and the cameras in the parks are nearly done. They'll be done within 2 weeks, so that's happening very, very rapidly, which is fantastic. The park amenities that we have through the CDBG funding have all been procured, have them all in hand, and they're being constructed, and I have a plan for putting them out this summer. And we also hired a replacement for one of our staff, environmental specialist, Ellie Gartenstein. She chose to leave the position in May, and we hired a new environmental specialist who started on Monday. His name is Philip Shuttle Green. and he is in place starting Monday and seems great so far. That's some of the things that are going on.
He has a 5-page document he has to read every day today, so.
I am home, I have high standards on my employees.
No doubt.
That's not true.
You don't need my opinion.
I do have high standards, he doesn't have a 5-page document.
It's 8 pages. I'm sorry, I couldn't jump. I had a couple of questions, not related to that. The cleanup day, we were looking at, and I talked to a bunch of people about, they wanted to, they helped last year and some came back, helped this year clean it up. And they wanted to organize, more formalized, Friends of the Point. Not modeled after any other friends group, but a group of people who would come out a couple times a year and help clean it up. I was unable to be there, I had a lot of stuff going on, but I think there's a list, right, of the people who came.
Yeah, you're asking me if I saw it?
No.
But I know
How
there
many
was,
pages? 8.
there is a list of the people who, and I'm sure that Casey, were you down there that day or no?
I was managing the Midtown today.
Okay. So Casey, I can ask her.
Yeah, because people were really interested in that, and I figured if we have their contact information, send out an email, or have this, either I could do it, send the city, send out an email, just to join the group, and I know it's not a city sanction necessarily, but a group that wants to support that area. Because I think having more people involved is probably a good thing. You know, like, going down and checking it out, picking it up. Yeah, and another little social setting that people can get together for a purpose, you know, positive purpose. The other was the boxing club. They're getting calls, a couple of us are getting significant numbers of calls about the boxing. And when can it happen, and does it happen, and who's doing it, and you know, we have this, all of the equipment they need, some of the equipment is there, and we had a coach, but our coach wasn't able to continue working because they got a full-time job in the city, and then it would have to go to, I guess, seniority or something, and, you know.
But I think, I don't want to interrupt you, but that, as you may recall from when Jack was here last month, he was talking about projects, the asbestos abatement within the Murphy Center. That is actually going to be starting a little earlier than initially anticipated, starting the latter part of July, not the middle, latter part of August. So anything along those lines, I'm not trying to pass it on to Lindsay when she comes back, but it'll be Lindsay's
That's what we tell them.
project to either bring back in to play or
Yeah.
not. So-
I just wanted to point out that we're getting,
Yeah, I received a couple of calls also, last month, last week actually as well.
so we,
And continue to, you know, the youth boxing again. And, I mean, other cities are doing it now, it's just coming back into play. And, it's another way of keeping kids off the streets, something to do in the evening, you know, once it's, you know, even for adults also. Younger generation, older generation. And, I think it's a good idea to come back, but I just wanted to put it out there at this point so we could discuss it. I mean, you know, obviously, the Midtown's getting rehabbed, and so, I mean, just to put it on the table now, we can, use it for the discussion later on down the line. But at least it's out there again, I think it'll be another thing, a good thing for the youth to get involved in again.
so what I'm doing now is we're doing something at Keith Bennett's, and there's a place in Saugerties, JP's, and one in Ellenville, but they're all private businesses. So, but the difference is that what we provided for the kids and the adults here was no cost, because the city gives us the property to area to work at, for all of years. And then the adults that came, some of them would sponsor a kid, because if the kid wants to compete, the gear that they need is about $250. So we had some businessmen that would come in and sponsor a kid, you know, help them buy their headgear, and because you wanted to save gloves and all that. So just keep that in mind.
So mainly, parents came to me because they're bringing kids to Soaries now. And mentioned Ellenville, I had people talking about Ellenville, bringing, you know, from here, they're going elsewhere, where I think that we have the weekend or we can do it here. So maybe we can start it again. I know there's some insurances that we have to work out, whoever's involved in it, whatever. And
Well, it's a USA boxing gym, and you have to have insurance through that. And then the city has the general liability.
right, how it works, but you know, we just gotta do it the right way to make sure.
And people that are able to take their kids to other towns or cities and pay are often, they didn't make up the majority of it. Most of our families, they either didn't have cars, they couldn't travel. You know, they didn't have the money to pay to join gyms with 2 or 3 kids.
Sounds like there's enough interest so that when the building is ready,
Yeah,
you know,
oh, yeah, there's,
you get up and running again.
and there's so much
Get more
history there.
kids
that
off
it's
the
amazing.
streets.
I have Julius, questions to you also. So at the Brown neighborhood, I was down there the other day, looking around, and the weight room down there, police officers worked out, some of the kids go down to work out. There was a pipe that was fixed down there. It's, they had one of the old air conditioners. Kevin, you might remember that also, the weight room. And I don't know, it was fixed and it was repaired, but the air conditioner, I mean, it was just a 2x4 board covering the whole spot where the AC was. So at this point, you have trees growing inside of the weight room. You know, that needs to be like fixed ASAP. So I'm showing pictures, I'll show you the pictures, but I think that's something that we need to address as soon as possible. It's been like this for a while. For at least, absolutely 3 years now.
So that's where the AC unit was removed?
Yeah.
And
And
the trees are.
yeah, it was one summer, one winter, the pipe got burst down there a few years ago, and it was fixed. But the AC came out, or it was in there, there's a piece of board that was in there, and now it's been there since, and nothing's been repaired.
The whole system was shifted over to an air source heat pumps in that building, so.
Right, this is prior to that though, it's not what you know, I know definitely it was shifted over, but this was prior to it's been shifted over, so I'm saying 3 years ago, this happened. Where, you might know,
Yeah.
I'm just bringing it to the attention.
That's
It just-
something to live with, we're gonna have to take care of.
Yeah, it just needs to be fixed, that's all. Yeah, trees growing inside the building.
It's like to commingle our environmental education.
That's right.
I guess so.
I-
Some,
You know, I didn't look for it, but when I was down there last, this is the first time hearing about it, so
yeah,
I'm
it
not sure.
was, yeah, it was, I mean, it was a pipe that burst a while ago, and it was fixed immediately when it happened. But like I said,
It's a hole in the wall.
you got a hole in the wall with a 2x4. You know, it just needs to be addressed, that's all. No big deal.
No big deal.
Any, want to discuss the,
Just one other thing is that, yeah, well,
Tuesday break?
tomorrow, the nature center apparently, member of the council is gonna be presenting the Friends of the Forsyth Nature Center with a achievement award or?
Yeah, actually, the official designation was Tuesday night at council.
Okay, so it's 5:30 at the nature center. It's the annual birthday of the FNC, so anybody's able to swing by.
They have, that park has had amazing things done over the years, absolutely amazing.
You said
One of the
tomorrow.
gems of this city.
I'm telling you, it's really beautiful, it's amazing, the trend, transition.
And of course, the parade is on Friday the 12th.
Gosh, that day comes so soon.
So we gonna have to, are they gonna have to rose and?
At the parade,
Yeah, what we did before
yes,
every year we did.
Casey's taken that on and she's been in contact with all the department, all the other departments, fire, police. She's been down to the plaza with Julie Jordan and Ray Van Wagenen to talk about where things need to go. And I think she's been in contact with Hannaford as well to provide the product.
Do we need to, as a board, everybody's not here.
Well, so normally we try to get
It's
everybody
volunteer.
here. Normally it's, lately it's,
Yeah, I'm sure that Casey will reach out, because I asked her, I'm sure she reaches out to you, from assistance, and I know in the past, years ago, you would always, people of the commission would always help out down at the plaza.
Or a hot
So
dog
there's
stand.
no fun activities there anymore, right?
You know,
The fair is no longer there.
I'm glad you brought that up, because mine is always as sharp as it used to be. There is somebody from, like Kingston Kids, is that Frank Waters? He's looking to do some type of, something on the ball field, for kids after the parade. So
Okay.
I don't know if he's been in contact with Casey about it, but he stopped in the office one day and I said, well, that's not only with us, but also with HERSDOS to see if they'd want to know what you're doing, and putting on the ball field. He says, well, it's gonna be less than what, Cardinal did on the ball field, so. There is that possibility.
That'd be nice if there was.
Yeah, they have a lot of good things going on, on different occasions. Halloween, something, something. The parade will just be something else to be anticipated.
right, anything else? 6 o'clock on the dot. All right, I'll make next board meeting is scheduled for Thursday, July 11th, 5 p.m. at City Hall, Conference Room 2. Right, motion to adjourn.
Make motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Good
Aye.
job, Stephen, good job.
It's 1 hour. Good stuff.